members of the Council of State, senior minister, ministers and deputy ministers of state, the first deputy speaker of parliament, minority leader in parliament and members of parliament, the secretary to the cabinet, auditor general, the special prosecutor and his deputy, president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, chairperson of the Public Services Commission, head of the Civil Service, the chief executive of public sector reforms, commanders and members of the security services, traditional rulers, members of the diplomatic corps, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here this morning to deliver this address at the launch of the National Public Sector Reform Strategy, NPSRS 2018-2023, on the theme, Delivering for Citizens and Private Sector. Let me at the outset commend warmly the efforts of the senior minister, that model of competence, Yao Osafo-Maafo, for the brilliance of this strategy, which I am confident will yield positive results for our country. When Ghana attained independence in 1957, an efficient public service, the envy of many in the region, was bequeathed to our nation. It has over the years contributed its quota to our development and progress. In spite of its modest achievements, the Ghanaian people in recent years have expressed dissatisfaction with the systems of service delivery in the public sector. Whether it is about absenteeism or lateness, incompetence or corruption, the public sector is today, unhappily, not seen in a good light. Successive governments have thus undertaken various forms of reforms, including diverse structural and systematic projects and programs geared towards improving the performance of the public sector. Unfortunately, they have not helped very much. In other words, the requisite level of performance of the public sector has still not been attained. That is why my administration has begun this process that hopefully will lead to the creation of a new public service that is fit for purpose, which will help guarantee the delivery of high-quality services for the Ghanaian people and the private sector. Like the theme connotes, the targeting of the private sector flows from the profound conviction that a vibrant, vigorous private sector represents a major tool for the socio-economic transformation of a country. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2018-2023 NSPRS, which I'm launching today, will review and modernize the current structures, systems, processes, and internal management functions of the public sector to support government's development priorities. It will also help create the conditions necessary for the private sector to thrive and thereby create employment opportunities for the youth, all within the context of our overall vision of a Ghana beyond aid. A major goal of the reform is to strengthen the human resource capacity of the public sector to improve its delivery. To this end, public sector training institutions will be resourced to help develop the requisite skills and knowledge needed for the delivery of modern services. The process will also enhance the ethical foundation of the public sector, and in addition, introduce management initiatives to deal with apathy, resistance, and reform fatigue, which have been the bane of previous attempts at reform. International best practice in the public sector requires that there is a robust regulatory framework to define and shape the nature of work and service delivery to the citizenry and private sector. Accordingly, appropriate measures to review, streamline, revamp, and regulate the implementation of the Client Service Units, CSU, and Client Service Charters, CSC, will be undertaken by prescribing a uniform format and standards. To attach importance to this management tool, which has made considerable impact in other jurisdictions, it is intended that the CSU and CSC will be launched before the end of the year to ensure its adoption with the required modifications by all metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, MMDAs. Ladies and gentlemen, modernized and improved working conditions are key to increasing productivity in the public service. There is going to be a systematic review of public sector compensation in its entirety, with the institution of a suitable performance-based reward system to help guarantee increased productivity. The review will pursue opportunities for upgrading office space and provide the necessary tools and equipment to improve the work environment within the service. Additionally, a central assets and inventory check system to take stock of all physical assets in the public service will be established. Furthermore, a culture of maintenance of public assets and property must be revived and even more significantly adhered to. Other areas of concern in government's pursuance of reforms in the public sector will be strengthening the local government structures and the digitization of public sector services and systems. The intention is to bring government closer to the people and identify local economic development initiatives to provide opportunities for job and wealth creation at the local level. It will also focus on high-level activities aimed at transforming and mainstreaming ICT in government agencies. Apart from this, it will ensure the establishment of an electronic records management system for ministries, departments, and agencies, the MDAs, and the MMDAs. Ultimately, it is the intention that the public sector will go paperless and reduce drastically the interface that currently exists between citizens and public servants in the provision of services. I want to assure you that this reform strategy will not suffer the fate of past ones. Matters relating to policy formulation and implementation, monitoring and evaluation, reporting and accountability have been well factored into this strategy to ensure its smooth takeoff. Under the day-to-day supervision of the senior minister, and with government ensuring the availability of resources for the implementation of this reform strategy, I'm confident that the national public sector reform strategy will be a great success. Meanwhile, a robust communication team will be established within the office of the senior minister to support the coordination of the scheme through strategic engagement with private sector, public agencies, public servants, and civil society. A website has been dedicated to this scheme and is now online to provide adequate information on the strategy for the benefit of the Ghanaian people. Ladies and gentlemen, ambitious as these may sound, Government aims to complete the adjoining programs of the strategy shortly through a diligently coordinated implementation process involving everyone. To this end, I urge all MDAs to identify their roles, programs, and activities within the scheme and draw their budgets in accordance with their activities so that they will have the funds to ensure continuity of the reforms. I wish to express government's appreciation to the World Bank and the African Development Bank for their support and advice throughout the preparation of the strategy document and the laying of the foundation for the takeoff of these reforms. To members of the public service, I urge you to embrace these reforms, for they represent effective means for the creation of a public service that will deliver for the citizenry and the private sector. An efficient public service will help realize our vision of a self-reliant, prosperous Ghana. It should serve as the impetus for reshaping our country and charting a new path of growth and development in freedom, which will help deliver a dignified, prosperous standard of life to the Ghanaian people. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the government and people of Ghana, I declare the National Public Sector Reform Strategy 2018-2023 duly launched.